Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Zach with Achilles Financial, and we are back, and I have an exciting week ahead of us, and I am really looking forward to what we've got going on. We saw a lot of up and down last week, and we are actively looking for what stocks can we make a play on for this week. So as you can see, SPY is actually down pretty hefty, almost $3 after hours trading. So these are these futures. So we did close a little bit lower going into Friday, and look, we're dropping again. The reason that this is important is because we had a good start to the week last week, and then it's been bouncing around back and forth since then. To put it in perspective, we did have that strong pop at the beginning of June, and now we're kind of trading off of that high point. The question is, are we going to see another dip like we saw here and bounce back up? I think a lot of that is going to be dependent on the broader market and what we see happening with the coronavirus in particular this week. Now, just to be frank, I don't think that what we're seeing right now in terms of the overall market reaction is strictly dependent on what we're seeing in terms of cases, in terms of hospitalizations, but rather there has been a lot of news coming out as it relates to the Federal Reserve, and I think that a lot of that news is what's driving the market. That being said, there is going to be a number of Fed Reserve people who are talking this week, but the key one to watch is going to be Jerome Powell on Wednesday. He's going to be testifying, and that is noon Eastern time. So we're going to be watching that as far as what to look for this week. The other big thing, and I've been talking about this for a while, I have nearly all of my exposure here is going to be tied up in bank stocks. As you can see, I've got some equity here in terms of $120 in Bank of America options. I've got $320 in JP Morgan options. And then I've still got right at $2,500 in Bank of America stock. So there's going to be a lot going on with the bank stocks this week. And I think that they're going to, for the most part, follow the broader market until Thursday when they release the Federal Reserve results. And I've been very bullish on those results. I understand that those are going to anticipate popping for the bank stocks. My only concern is I think I've gone in a little too early on the JP Morgan stocks because I'm a little bearish on the market going forward the rest of this week. So if we're looking at Bank of America stock, we've seen this decline over the course of the week. If we're looking at the month though, I need them to hold this support level, this kind of 2450 level, and kind of bounce back up. But I think that we're probably going to see a bit of a market deterioration going into the beginning of the week just because there's uncertainty. So be careful, but keep watching those. But I do think that there's still an opportunity here. So the key date there is Thursday, June 25th. So with all this uncertainty, what are three stocks that I'm really watching and I think that still show a lot of potential? Well, I'm glad you asked. The first one that I want to look at is Shopify, or the ticker symbol SHOP. The reason that I really like Shopify is they've come through this with some very strong partnerships, Facebook being one of them. And just look at this growth that we've seen over the past 3 months, 150%. But even year over year, they're still up 165%. So they have exploded. And I still think that there's a lot of room to run here. They just reiterated an analyst group that said they have a $1,200 target in terms of overall price, which is insane. But they have a lot of momentum that is going for them, and they move a lot. So there's a lot of opportunity here. The only issue is, I want to highlight this, look how expensive these options are. This is a weekly option, and they're saying, hey, we expect this to go up $32. That is insane. So when I was looking at these, I mean, I like to play some of these big mover type of stocks, but for it to go up another, this is essentially 25% in a single week. Then we're looking at this to go up for $200. It's a little bit too expensive for me, but I am going to be watching to see if they have any breaks in this or if we see some of those momentums. I wanted to see if I could get some time, but look at even for August. We're looking at $62 again for that same move. But look, if we go down here, $97. So we're looking at nearly $1,000 to just say this is going to go up by August 21st. So a lot of momentum in this stock, a lot of volatility, and that's driving this price higher. So I like it. I'm going to be watching it, but I don't think I'm going to be making a play here. If you are someone who's looking to add to your long-term portfolio, Shopify is an incredible company. I think they're going to continue to enable their users, going to continue to bring in a lot of money. But again, they are expensive and we may see another dip. But if you're saying, hey, I want something where I can put $5, $10, $20,000 in and never look at it again, then I think Shopify is definitely that stock. Someone that I just mentioned that I think is going to be a complement play for them is Facebook. Again, Facebook is coming off of all-time highs. So we just looked at, let's see, the 52-week high of 241. I think that was earlier this week. It was. So they keep bouncing up and up and up, and they are just killing it. Now, they've got some controversy in terms of some of their moderation of what they're doing, particularly in the political spectrum. However, overall, we're seeing a lot more companies go to Facebook advertising. A lot of users have been on the platform a lot more over the past 3 months. The big question coming out of this is, are people going to stay utilizing their platform? So they've traditionally, over the course of the past few months, they've been a pretty good mover, as you can see, and that's what I'm watching here is, are we going to see some of these moves? I mean, we're seeing over the matter of a few days, $4 and $5 moves. So that's why I'm going to be watching them from an options perspective. They're still a little expensive, but they can move. So I wouldn't even mind looking at a few of the put plays just because they can have a big move, and I'd be looking to flip it for premium. So there's a lot of opportunity there. I like Facebook, but I do think it's a little expensive right now. But it's just one that I'm going to be watching to see if I want to bet against them, particularly if we see something antitrust come out in the news, or if we see something how we've already seen the current presidential administration come out and attack Twitter. If that were to happen, then for Facebook, I think it could be negative for the stock, even if it doesn't have long-term consequences. So that's what I'm going to be watching and checking out. I think there's an opportunity there as well. Lastly, the last stock I want to highlight, we made a play on this a few weeks ago and they have still bounced up. Let's see what we sold those plays for just to check it. Where's my history? Well, I don't know where we've got the history for the Microsoft options right now, but we have been looking at these for a price perspective. Again, they've had a few big moves, but by and large been following the broader market. So I'd like to see some of this momentum continue. I'm going to be watching it tomorrow morning, but I don't have a lot of cash balance right now to be making a lot of moves, but I really like Microsoft. And the one that I have traded in the past was the July 17th, and it looks like we've got some option chain broken right now. But I was liking the July 17th 210 calls. And so I think I sold out around 120, which it's tough to always look at those and see this, but coulda, woulda, shoulda. But there's going to be a lot of movement here. You can see there's a lot of upside. And these are pretty expensive, but some of these 210, 105, I think there's opportunity there, particularly if we see another bounce upward. So you can see that they did almost touch that 200 point. I wonder if they did break that. So they did not break it. They did get close though. So they actually also hit it on Friday is what it looks like. So still a lot of momentum, a lot of movement. I'm going to be watching them just because they benefit from people working from home. They've got their Microsoft Teams. They've got a lot of the software, a lot of the hardware, a lot of capabilities. So I'm going to be watching on Microsoft. There's just a lot of movement there for them. So you see what I've got in the portfolio right now. Those are the plays that I'm going to be watching this week. We've got a fun, exciting week. I have really enjoyed getting to share this experience with everyone, as well as just the opportunity to come here and have this dialogue. So that being said, I'd like to know what plays that you guys are looking at or what stocks you're a fan of. So if you've got some recommendations, please drop those in the comments below. And if you found this content helpful, please leave a like and subscribe. Thanks everyone. Talk to you later.